Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and join in on all the fun. So in today's video, I'm gonna be a bit vulnerable in today's video. I just wanted to talk about something. So I started my channel to obviously share my interest and love for beauty and fashion, but I also started it to journal my journey throughout life and to share it with you guys that watch me. So, which is how I came to, you know, the idea of talking about this on my channel. So just to jump straight into it, I had a rough start to the week. It was pretty difficult start to the week. I had a lot of anxiety coming into this week, and a lot of mental challenges that I had to overcome in order for me to, you know, enjoy my day, enjoy my life, enjoy me, enjoy the week, right? So, and I just wanted to kind of just share what I've been going through and what I do go through and how I try to overcome some of the mental challenges that I face. So yeah, like I said, I had a very tough start to the week. I had a lot of anxiety. I came from a weekend where I spent most of the weekend with my friends, my partner, and I was working as well. So it was a pretty active weekend and very socially demanding. So I was interacting with a lot of people, and it was a great weekend. I thoroughly enjoyed my weekend. But I guess in that time, there was never really any time that I put aside to do, you know, what I usually do to start my day off on a good note, or a day off on, you know, to reduce my anxiety on a daily basis. I didn't really have time to do those things. So it was very fast paced, you know what I mean? It was go, 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 go. And yeah, so I had a lot of anxiety, and my anxiety stemmed from my interactions with people and my friends, the people I really truly care about, right? And I couldn't, you know, I was obsessing over the fact that, you know, I had done something wrong, or, you know, they hate me, or they dislike me, or I did something to them to make them dislike me. Like, I was just over analyzing every one of my moves throughout the whole weekend, all my interactions, like over analyzing them. And it was incredibly frustrating, because there's a logical side of me that knows that it's not true. There's a logical side of me that's like, hey, you know, this is like definitely not true. You're way off base here. You had a beautiful weekend. Your friends love you. Your friends love having you around. You know, this is irrational. Like, you know, you're putting yourself in this mood, you're thinking all these negative thoughts and putting yourself in this mood, and it's incredibly irrational and just far from what reality is, you know what I mean? But I couldn't help but like think those false negatives, even though I knew they were like untrue. The feeling was so overwhelming that, you know, I you know, kept dragging them on and believing them. And, you know, thank God I eventually got out of that, and I'll share a little bit about how I got out of that later in this video. But I just kind of want to discuss how the things that we go through in life really does impact, you know, our perception of not only ourselves but of the people around us, and how life, you know, generally moves forward after you've, you know, gone through something usually traumatic. And I think the overanalyzation of myself when it comes to interaction with my friends stems from what I went through earlier this year, where I lost two of my closest friends. You know, they like sisters, like super close. And, you know, the way I view friendships is, for me, unless nothing horrible happens, I don't see why I can't be friends with someone, or I shouldn't be friends with someone. As long as there's mutual respect, love, and kindness and understanding, I've never seen the reason as to why a friendship should end, right? And that's the way I thought. I know others think differently. I've spoken to a few people and I know they think differently. Anyway, so when that happened in earlier this year, I struggled to deal with it. It was such a heartbreaking, like even when I'm talking about it right now, I can feel myself get super emotional, but I'm not going to cry on camera. That's something I promised myself I do not want to do. But anyway, when it happened, it was such a heartbreaking, life-altering and just traumatic thing for me personally. It was incredibly hard for me to understand. Like, the logical side of me understood the fact that people have a right to choose whether they want to be friends with you any longer or not. You know, they have a right to leave. People have a right to leave. We do not own people. So on a logical level, I understood that, but I couldn't ignore the emotional pain that it caused, right? Anyway, but me being me, I like to keep it pushing. I'm just like, you know what, this sucks, but I am going to carry on with my life and, you know, focus on the love that I have and focus on the friends that I have and focus on the support system that I have, because that's what matters. And I kept it pushing. And even though in the back of my mind, it still kept coming up in the back of my mind, like things, you start to question yourself. You start to think, wait, is there something wrong with me? And you start to, you know, overanalyze all the interactions you guys may have had together. You start to, where did I go wrong? You know, you start to go through all of those things, and that's what I pretty much went through, but in the back of my mind. But I was still like trying to move on with my life and not focus too dearly on it, because I didn't want it to consume me. And it's so crazy to me because now I see it in a very different way. I was talking to my partner a few weeks ago and I was talking about this exact situation that I went through, and something that hit me while we were having that conversation is that, you know, when you pray, right? You pray to God and you ask him to guide you and lead you to your path, the path that was meant for you, right? And, you know, when you make that prayer, I think, well, for me at least, you tend to think of all the good things that will come with being aligned with your path, right? And you tend to forget that in order to be aligned with your path and the things that are meant for you, it means that you need to depart with things that are currently in your life. Sometimes it may mean that. And that may be departing with bad habits. That may be departing with, you know, the situation you are in. And that also might be departing with certain people in your life. And as we were having this conversation with my partner, I was just like, whoa. I just thought back to all the times I had prayed and asked for that. And, oh, I do not want to get emotional on this video. Oh my God. Anyway, now that I've caught my breath there, where was I? Well, as I was having this conversation with my partner and I was coming to that realization that, wow, I pray a lot regarding that, you know what I mean? And I had not considered that prayer also means that God's going to align you with the people that are going to be on this path with you, and is going to detach you or remove you from the people who aren't meant to be on this path with you, and that is okay. And because I had only just thought of that, I mean, this was like 2 weeks ago, the sense of like calm overcame me, because not only was I accepting the fact that I had lost something, it came to me that it was like, I don't want to say it was meant to be, but it was part of my path as well to depart from, you know, certain people, you know what I mean? And not to say that the pain like went away, but there was a sense of acceptance. And you know, accepting that, you know what, it's okay that that happened, and it's okay that they, you know, they chose to do that, you know what I mean? And there's great peace that comes from acceptance. I mean, I haven't completely healed from it. I mean, it still hurts, but like, I have accepted it, which is different from when it initially happened, or when before I, you know, had this epiphany. I was struggling to accept it. I was struggling to accept it so hard. So that acceptance brought in a lot of peace. Anyway, the reason why I wanted to include that was that all these little things that we go through, all these traumatic experiences that we go through, unfortunately, they do leave scars, right? And I think I needed to understand that the reason why I'm being overly anxious about my interactions with my friends is because of, you know, what had happened to me. And when I acknowledged that and finally understood that that's what was happening, it helped me stop with the negative false truths, or stop with the obsessing over my actions, and stop with, you know, thinking so negatively about my interactions with my friends. Just completely stop and look at the facts and reality and what had actually happened. You know what I mean? And it's so crazy that once you understand why it is that you do certain things, or why it is that you react a certain way to certain things, it's so powerful in the process of understanding yourself and understanding how to deal with emotions when they come up. For example, it made me understand how to deal with my anxiety regarding social situations like that when it came up, because I know it stems from, right? And that was really important for me, which is why I wanted to make the video. It was really important because I just felt like without that understanding, I feel like I would still be holding on to that negative thought, or the negative thoughts I had regarding my interactions with my friends. And now, because I acknowledge and understand, and I'm willing to admit to myself that hurt me, that affected me so much, that this is why I'm responding this way now, right? And I hope I'm not coming off as a victim, because I'm not trying to do that at all. I do not want to, you know, paint myself as a victim, because I just feel like these things happen. It's part of life. You know, we love people, we lose them, you know, it's definitely a part of life. But I think my aim with this video is to just remind anyone that is going through anxiety because of things that happened to them in their life, and I bet a lot of us have those experiences, to search within yourself and ask yourself, why is it that I'm reacting this way? It's such a simple, you know, solution, but it's so powerful, and it's so much introspection comes from it, that you start learning things about yourself that you didn't know. Like, I didn't know I could be this, you know, affected by something like this. I'm a G, right? I'm a G, but clearly not. But yeah, it's just to remind yourself to look within, because usually the answers are always within. And to be kind to yourself, even though you're being overwhelmed by negative thoughts, still be kind. Anyway, but as I was touching before, like, this is a part of life. Like, these things are going to happen. People are allowed to choose for themselves who they want around, right? And, you know, because I went through that, I have now changed my perspective regarding the people in my life, or the relationships I hold dear to my heart. Not that I'm like putting up this wall, it's more that I understand that it's a part of life and it's going to happen, right? I think now I understand it more and I accept it, rather than where before I was like, that's my homie for life, for life, you know what I mean? Whereas now I'm like, I love having you in my life right now, and I'm gonna cherish you as long as, you know, the universe will let us cherish each other, or we will cherish each other. It's less of, it's coming more from like a free source of like, you know what, I love you and I love you for being here right now. But going back into how I dealt with my anxiety this week, especially, I think the first thing, I wrote it down on my phone so I don't forget. The first thing for me that usually helps me, and this is what I was alluding to in the beginning of the video when I was talking about how the weekend was so busy and I hadn't had time to do my normal habits to start the day. And one of the normal habits or things I implement in my days is gratitude lists, or to outwardly express gratitude for something in my life, right? I find that helps me personally dealing with anxiety, like whether it's anxiety about my future, anxiety about my past, anxiety about the present, anxiety about whatever it may be. When I express gratitude, it brings me back to ground level. Like another thing that helped me this week was creating. And I love making videos. I love, making content. I love it all. I love editing videos. I just love creating using, my phone or my camera, or, beauty, fashion and all that. So that really helped me be present as well in what I was doing, and also be grateful for the fact that I was able to do it. And had the opportunity to do it. So that really made me feel happy and present in the moment. So another thing that helped was talking. I speaking to friends, speaking to my partner, and speaking to people that understand, or try to understand, and may not offer any solutions, because half the time we want to talk, maybe we're not looking for solutions, but may not offer any solutions, but just listen and validate and offer support. That does a lot for me as a person that deals with anxiety on a daily basis. That really helps. Another thing that helped was music, funny enough. I love Cleo Soul. I think her album Rose in the Dark is spectacular. That album is just, it gives me life, because it's just the vibes I get from it are immaculate, positive, loving, kind. So yeah, music. Oh yeah, and today I'm feeling good. I started off the day by exercising, and that's another thing that I do on a daily basis to try kind of eliminate any tension or anxiety from my body. I just got on the bike and did 20 minutes. It's a lot of work and it's never ending, but it's worth it, because when you get even little moments, it could just be 24 hours in the whole week where you're just like, it's all worth doing the work. So, and it's daily work. So yeah, I feel good today, and I'm grateful for today. I'm grateful for how I'm feeling. I hope you enjoyed the video and that you took something from it. If you have any comments, leave them down below. If you want to hit me up on my Instagram, DM me. Goal for the next week is be kinder to yourself. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye. This shitty thing happened to me and it made me feel this way, and I'm allowed to feel this way. I'm not whining. My emotions, my feelings are valid,